Electrical PPE comes in many shapes and forms. There's all kinds of it on the market, but it all basically works in the same manner, the same ways. Now, I'm going to discuss a little bit of the PPE you most commonly find in any type of industry in almost any location. We start out with the electrically rated gloves. Here we have nothing more than a glove. A rubber glove is all this is. The glove itself is the protection from electrical shock. Now, provided there's no damage at all throughout the glove, anywhere on the glove, this glove will protect me for up to 1,000 volts of AC power. The electrical gloves are going to have an identifier of what they're rated and how they're used. Right here on this tag, tags are color coded as to class of gloves. But this is a size 10 glove. It has made to ANSI and ASTM standards. It is a type 1 glove, which is natural rubber. Type 2 is synthetic rubber. There are people allergic to rubber. Okay, maximum use is going to be 1,000 volts AC power. This is a class 0 glove. Now, when these gloves are used every day, at least once a day when they're used, they have to be tested with a simple air test. That air test is simple. We simply grab the glove by the cuff, we flip the glove around to capture air into it, hold it tight at the cuff, and we squeeze it. And as we're squeezing right there, we look at the fingers, we look between the fingers, we look for any kind of damage that might be on that glove. You hold the glove to your face, you listen for leaks, okay, you feel the leaks, your cheeks are very sensitive. So this type of air test should be done at least once a day. Now, most electricians and most people, and including me, I will recommend that you test this glove every single time you put it on. This is your protection from electrical shock. The various classes of gloves, various shock, various voltage ratings. Now, some of these electrical gloves can be a little bit bigger and heavier. This is a class 1 glove. Class 0 is good for 1,000 volts. Class 1 is good for 7,500 volts. Now, one thing about any of these gloves, you can get these gloves in any color you want at any voltage levels. Okay, so color preference can be anything you desire. Now, some of the gloves are going to have two colors. One color on the outside, one color on the inside. Again, they could be any colors. The gloves that have two colors on them, the reason for that is it makes it simpler and easier to test them. So once I capture air in the glove to test it, if there's any damage in that glove, it's going to show one color through the other. So you'll be able to see it much easier. That's the purpose of the two colors. Now, gloves themselves are designed to protect you from shock. However, these rubber gloves are very, well, they're not tough. So over the glove, you will wear a leather protector. This leather protector's got a rating of 22 calories. That's for the leather protector all by itself. But it's got to be used with specific sizes of gloves. These fingers on the leather protector are going to be a little bit wider to allow the rubber to fit in. So it is a specialized glove. It's also made to specific ASTM standards. Now, just like anything else, we have to inspect this glove before we put it on. Make sure there's no cuts, tears, stains, oil stains, sweat stains, no damage whatsoever on the gloves. Okay, it's the rubber glove that protects you from shock. It's the leather glove that protects you from, well, protects the rubber glove. So right there, we put the leather glove over the rubber glove. You never wear a glove just the rubber alone. Always use the leather protector. Okay, so you never wear the glove all by itself. You always put the leather protector over it. Leather protects the rubber protects you. Now, there's a lot of times people complain it's cumbersome, you can't pick anything up, it's hard to work with these things, and that is true. Once you put a glove on, your hands are a lot stiffer. The rubber takes up a lot of space, making things thicker, and they are cumbersome to use, but there's a key to this. you get the size of the rubber glove and leather glove that fits your hand. If the glove is too big, it's going to be hard to work in. If the glove is too small, it's tight and it hurts you. So you need to have the size that fits you. We're going to get into the OSHA requirements a little bit later. And it actually says the PPE has to fit the employee. So rubber gloves. Now cleaning these gloves, never use any kind of petroleum-based powders or cleaners. About the only thing you want to use on these is water. If you get any kind of petroleum-based, or let's say soap, dishwashing liquids, whatever you're using on the rubber, this rubber is going to dry out, it's going to get sticky, it's going to crack, it'll just destroy it. The only thing these are used for to clean these are waters. They do make specialized cleaners. Now on the inside, a lot of people put powder in there. Don't use any kind of baby powder or talcum powder. There are specialized powders. But there is also these things called glove liners. It is a cotton glove, a glove liner, simple cotton glove. Okay, you put this over your hand, and well, it keeps your hand warm in the wintertime. It absorbs sweat in the summertime, makes the gloves easier to put on, take off. Very useful. Now if you are going to use these little cotton liners right there, you want to buy a glove a half size larger than what your hand size is. So these are sized. There's your gloves. Now face shield, this guy, you all seen these things, you wear them on the helmet. Once again, they got to be inspected before every and single use. Make sure there's no damage, there's no cracks, no breaks. Now the face shield itself, you should be able to actually see through it. If it gets all scratched up and you can't see through it, you're doing this number, lifting it up and putting it down, which defeats the purpose. Now the yellow tint, it can be a green tint or yellow tint. That yellow tint or green tint is there to provide UV protection in the event of an arc flash. Now they do make a clear one, but if there's ever an arc flash, you're going to have a real case of welding burn or sunburn right there on your face. So you got the colors. Now once the color's there, this also breaks out another problem that makes you colorblind. It's hard to tell the difference between green, blue, and orange. So you really got to pay attention to these. So the face shields, the helmets, they all have to be rated. Now right here on the side, this face shield is rated up to 12 calories. 12 calories of energy. Now this is not a grinding shield, and a grinding shield is not an electrical face shield. This face shield is designed to withstand heat energy of up to 12 calories. That's all it's designed for. Okay, a grinding shield will not stop 12 calories. That grinding shield will melt to your face. Okay, so right here, this is protection from heat. But on the downside of this will protect you from arc flash, but if the equipment explodes, large debris might penetrate this face shield. It's not designed to withstand debris. It's only designed to withstand energy. So in that event, safety glasses are worn every time, all the time, under the face shields, under the hoods. Anytime you got electrical protection, you want the face shields. You want the safety glasses underneath every time. Now you also have tools. Here we have fuse pullers. Fuse puller is kind of simple. You never use a pair of channel locks. You never use a screwdriver right there to pull out a fuse. Always use the tool for the job. Now, one of the problems with this tool is it is made out of plastic, so we'll give you some insulation. But this tool has got no insulation ratings at all. So it will provide an insulation, but it is not considered an insulated tool. So what are you doing putting fuses out or pulling fuses out or putting them in when the circuit's live? You do not want to do that. If the circuit is live, you pull the fuse out or put the fuse in, that will create an arc flash. So power off, locked out, tagged out, all times. Now we look at tools like this. Here we got an insulated tool. These are everywhere. Everybody's got them these days. You have them everywhere. This orange part is the insulation, usually rated to 600 or 1000 volts. It's very tough, very stiff, and hard to damage. This handle on this tool has no insulating capabilities whatsoever, so this is not an insulator. This is a comfort grip. The insulation's right here. So this tool, even though it's rated 1000 volts, is not rated for shock protection. Okay, what you're doing is you're using this for arc flash protection to reduce the chance of arc flash. If you slip off a screw and not a tool, you drop it accidentally, it's less likely to create an arc flash. So this has nothing to do with shock. Shock protection is your rubber gloves. Now, one of the things commonly used in industry is one of these things, a tick tracer. These are good tools to use if you understand them and use them correctly. First of all, this tracer right there is rated Cat 4 to 1000 volts. It could be used from 90 to 1000 volts AC. This is safety equipment. All the meters are safety equipment. Problem is, with this one, you drop it, it breaks. If the battery inside of it goes weak, it doesn't read within its ratings. So in other words, you can't trust them. You got to test them before you use them. That's how they got the name Widowmakers. People didn't test them. Okay, now another point right there is electrical protection. Here we have a rubber blanket. This blanket right here on this point is rated to 36,000 volts. There's blanket materials in all shapes, sizes, and voltage ratings. You can get blanket material anywhere from 1,000 volts up to 36 kilovolts. This is what you use to cover live parts, cover up equipment that's being worked on, protect the workers from shock. Okay, so there's all kinds of blanket materials, and it should be made available. You should probably have some type of it in your facilities. Now, following this, now we have the electrical arc flash PPE. Arc flash PPE, well, we want to look at this stuff and we want to actually inspect it every single time it's used. For example, right here on this one, the Velcro is ripping. This would be considered damaged and pulled out of service. Okay, be considered damaged. We want to inspect every bit of it. Where it Velcro's up, we want to inspect to make sure there's no holes, no cuts, no tears. We look at the sleeves right here and make sure they're not damaged on any side, any holes, cuts, or tears, and this should be pulled out of service. Now, if you're not sure about how things work with the PPE, just like this one, it has a very good label on the inside. This label gives me the size, it gives me the arc flash ratings, the standards it's made to, and it also tells you how to clean and take care of the garment. Because these kinds of garments have to have specialized care, specialized soap, specialized laundering. If you don't follow the labels to the letter, it's no longer arc rated. All the arc rated properties and chemicals are washed out. So these should be inspected every single time they're used. So now, it doesn't matter what the PPE is, electrical, mechanical, welding, could be anything. It's always inspected before each use and know what the inspections are. PPE, guys.